to explain this topic, especially to product teams. So on this end, we have built the right it. Build it right is the next Venn diagram bubble. And here we have the right time. You can think of the right time as being fast, being early, but you can also be too early. If I'm the only person in the world with a fax machine, I'm maybe too early. So you need to think about an audience and build up a community. But that's a separate topic. I don't want to dig in too much into that. Now, a little tip from a meta level, every time you want to come up being smart, draw a Venn diagram, because with Venn diagrams it's very easy to come up with smart. But that's not what I want to do now. I don't want to be smart. I want to actually convey a message to you. And the message is obviously everyone wants to be in here. We want to build a product that solves a problem that the customers need. We want to build it right so we can sustain it over time, sustainable pace. We want to release a new version. We want to release further versions. And we want to hit the right time so that we are not too late or not too early. So we have the market is in place and someone is actually buying our products. What I found interesting with this model are these areas here. Now the first bit here is we are actually building the right product and we were first on the market or we were early enough on the market, but somehow every time we want to release a new version, we are struggling with that. And this is actually the place where I work with a lot of teams. Basically, we call this also legacy code or legacy systems. So every time they want to make a change, they struggle with that. Now, there is a very popular product in that field that was also documented quite well from the CTO. It's called Friendster. If you Google Friendster and CTO or blog, then you will find the documentation about it. So Friendster was a social media platform before Facebook and all the other ones, very early on the market, and they could not release new features. They were struggling with infrastructure, with the user base, with a lot of things, and just pushing out a new feature was very hard for them. And in the end, over time, they were taken over by other social media platforms. Sad story, but it killed basically the company. And I guess that you know a couple of companies here in this region as well. Let's look at this region here. So we are building the right it, we build it right, but we are either too late or too early. So what are products that you can imagine here? I have a very popular one that's basically the Windows Phone. Being way too early. I don't want to bash Microsoft, but that's a very popular one. Do you have other products in mind? Palm Pilot, yeah. So products that are not really absorbed by the market because they are maybe too late or something like that. Let's look at the last one, another interesting one. I call this here the startup space. Startup space because we don't know yet if this idea is actually a good idea for a product. So we need to find that out. What good startups are doing, they're doing either pivoting, so pivoting is changing the product shape and direction, or they throw a lot of spaghetti on the wall and hopefully one of them sticks. So that's another strategy on how you can deal with that situation if you're down here.